Hey everybody, I've just got back from the UK Games Expo and I wanted to talk through all of the games that I acquired during the show, as well as some additional games that have been delivered on Kickstarter. Now I have quite a few games here to talk through, so I won't waste too much more time, but before I get started on these games, I want to give a shout out to the show's sponsor, KIENDA.co.uk, who are my go-to online retailer, and if you use the link in the show notes or the QR code, then you can get 5% off your first order. And I do apologise for the shaky cam here because I am using a free hand to record this, because I've got so many games to talk through. I thought this was the best method. So I'm going to start here with a few games that were delivered recently from a Kickstarter campaign. In fact, two different Kickstarter campaigns. The first one being Through the Desert by All Play. So this is the new edition of a classic Knizia route building game. We have Zoo Vadis, which is a reprint of Quo Vadis, one of my favourite negotiation games, as well as the new Knizia one at Cascadero. So, I have played all three of these actually the other day. All went down quite well. I'm going to be a bit more coy in my thoughts on Cascadero because I will do a review of that one. But those are not Games Expo related, but they were delivered on Kickstarter. But let's move on to, in fact, one more that wasn't from the Expo. This was the big box edition of Carson City. Been waiting for this one for a long time. Kind of a classic worker placement Euro game set in the Wild West by Javier Jorge, most known for designing Trois. So finally got this one in the collection and I'm eager to play it, but unfortunately I've got so many other games to play now that I'm not sure if I can prioritise playing this one. So I also managed to pick up a copy of Mystic Vale in the Bring and Buy sale at the UK Games Expo. So this is a game that actually always appealed to me mechanically speaking, because this idea of having these kind of card sleeves that you are boosting by slipping in these kind of transparent card sleeves with certain things appearing and stuff and covering up symbols. Sounds really cool mechanically. Hopefully it works well in practice. I know this one has a bit of a cult following, so hopefully it's good and can hold its own still. I picked up a copy of Claim It. So this is an older push your luck style game, as you are basically rolling dice and trying to claim these different markers on this grid. Now this is actually a game that I wanted to pick up last year, but I ended up acquiring so many games that I thought, you know what, I don't need another one. But luckily it was still there this year and I managed to get a copy of that. So actually quite anticipating playing that one, quite eager to play it. But I'm not sure if many of you guys are clamouring out for any content regarding Claim It. I must say these games are also games that were picked up by my brother and also a few from my girlfriend as well. So these aren't all mine. The first of which that was not mine, this was my brother's, was Path of Civilization, a story of humankind. This one I know nothing about at all. Obviously it's some kind of Civ game. Nice big box here. I tend to like Civ games, but I tend to find they go a bit too long and don't have tremendous replayability. So hopefully this one breaks that mold and it's good. Again, I'm going completely into this one blind and I know nothing about it at all, but the fact that it says it takes 20 minutes per player, that sounds quite reassuring. I also picked up the new Kramer and Kiesling game. This is Terra Pyramids. This one, I'm not sure if I can explain anything mechanically speaking, but if I see Kramer and Kiesling's name on the box, I'll certainly take a look at it. And this one was on my shortlist, but I wasn't even aware that it was actually out for purchase yet. So hopefully it's good. Again, I'm going almost completely blind into this one. And this is definitely one of the biggest games that I picked up. And it'll probably be towards the top of my priority list because it is a new release and a lot of the other stuff I've picked up are older games. I reacquired Millefiori, so this is another Knizia game. I used to have this in my collection. I did play it quite a lot in a short period. I did part with it. But ever since then, I did regret my decision and I wanted to reacquire it. I did buy it again for a really good price, actually. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the table after I maybe play a lot of these other games. In the Bring and Buy sale, I managed to pick up a copy of Blue Moon Legends. And I was very lucky to do so, actually, because I was queuing up ready to leave the Bring and Buy. And then I spotted this in the corner of my eye. I managed to buy it just before I left. And this is one I actually wanted to go and find. But it's a very rare game, a kind of a head-to-head card game that, again, it's pretty hard to come by now. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it's one of Knizia's best, which a lot of people do consider it. So yeah, we shall see. This is another Kickstarter fulfillment game, and this is not related to the expo, but this is the Fog Escape from Paradise. I actually did a Kickstarter preview of this one a little while ago now, probably well over a year. And it's a really cool real-time game, kind of abstract as you're racing towards these boats and manoeuvring around these different tokens, but nice that it got fulfilled. And I also got a little expansion with this one as well. So it'll be nice to get this one back to the table after such a long hiatus, and definitely flown under the radar, this one. It's such a cool game. Also, my brother picked up Ancient Knowledge. Well, here's the expansion for the Fog. Ancient Knowledge, again, this is another card-driven game, 30 minutes per player. I believe this has some kind of mechanism where your older cards that you've played eventually drop off and you have to replenish your engine and keep on tweaking it to make sure that it's future-proof, really. I like that concept. I've heard it does drag on too long at times, so we shall see if that is the case in practice, but still quietly optimistic to play that one. In the Bring It and Buy sale, I managed to find a copy of Pagoda. I've kind of had this one in the back of my mind for a while. I know it's been out of print for a while now, so it was nice to see a really nice conditioned version of it available. RV Fuller's a really good designer. I haven't looked at the mechanism for a long time here, so the box is upside down. But I remember, again, it piquing my interest a long time ago, and I just assumed I wouldn't get a copy, so I kind of dismissed it. But it was good to find it there for, again, a really reasonable price. These next two were picked up by my girlfriend. In fact, the first one, Kodama Forest, was picked up by my girlfriend pretty much on the fact that she liked the artwork, which is fair enough. It goes to show that the artists are doing their job there. Certainly cute artwork by Kunshai Moria. This one is a polyomino style game that has some kind of between two cities mechanism where your neighbour's efforts does impact you. And I picked up this one as well just as a gift to her because it's in the same series. This is Kodama 3D, and this is the one where you are building these trees, and this is the 3D version of the game, so you actually have these 3D trees rather than being made up of these cards. I think they're both pretty light, so I should get these played pretty sharpish. My brother picked up a copy of Formula Fun. Now, I know nothing about this game at all. Again, a lot of these games were bought on kind of just taking a punt, looking at the artwork and seeing, or the premise of the game, and say, that sounds fun, let's give it a go. This one could be terrible, it could be good, I don't know. It's a racing game. We tend to like racing games, but there are so many good ones out there now that I'm not sure if one of this magnitude will actually be a home run or not, but again, we shall see. One of the probably bigger hits of the expo, Harmonies, definitely getting a bit of buzz at the moment. This one, this was definitely on my short list to pick up. I definitely didn't want to leave without a copy of Harmonies. Again, getting some good buzz, good feedback. Puzzly style game, trying to achieve these goals with these cards based on the orientation of these different little tokens that you're putting on the board. They're also 3D structures, so that sounds really cool to me. And there are a lot of games like this, but by all accounts, this is a good one. So that will, again, much like Terra Pyramids, this will be at the top of the pile in terms of getting them played soon. In the Bring and Buy sale, I picked up a copy of Caesar and Cleopatra. You can see it was only £7, so very, very cheap. This is an older Cosmos game. I like their two-player game range. So again, I want to try them all really. So even if it's terrible, it was only £7. So hopefully it'll be one that is more than worth its value. This one here, Stripes, I didn't really know anything about this at all, but I like the premise of this one. It's new in Shrink. I managed to pick it up for relatively cheap. As you have this row of cards, and you're using these other cards to manipulate these lines, and the idea is you want to try to get a whole line in a straight line, basically, of one of these colours, which I thought was a really cool premise. Very understated and minimalist, but hopefully the gameplay is solid. And I have a feeling that even if it is a little bit lackluster gameplay-wise, there might be some cool things you can do in terms of house ruling. So again, I'm keeping an open mind with Stripes. I picked up a copy of the Isle of Trains. A little engine building, a multi-use card game. You can see here, very affordable, only £16. I thought that was worth a shot because I have heard some good things about the Isle of Trains, and I tend to like multi-use card games. Another one from the Bring and Buy here with Armcore. This is I think it's some kind of little set collection game. But it's by Sebastian Pauchon, who I think is a great designer. So again, I picked it up very cheap in the Bring and Buy. Always like my little filler games. And I remember, I think Z Garcia saying that this is quite a solid game. So we shall see. We have Lusitania. This is kind of my big gamble, really. I know it's only a small game, but I just thought, you know what, it sounds cool. A little Roman-themed game from a small company, so we shall give that one a go. Also, we have Kuna. This was picked up by my brother in the Bring and Buy. I think it was only £5. A little push your luck game. Again, we tend to like push your luck games. And the same goes for Stampede. I think this was in the Bring and Buy as well for only £5. Again, it sounds like a set collection game as well. This is Cascadito. So Cascadito is part of the KIENDA Kickstarters here. This is the roll and write version of Cascadero. I've not learnt this one yet, but after playing Cascadero, I could definitely understand how Cascadero could be translated into Cascadito. So, you know, I don't know if it's worth keeping both or not, but after playing them both several times, I'm going to make my mind up and make an informed decision. We have Line It here and Mind Up. These two were right on my short list. Again, I didn't want to leave the convention without these two. If you like my channel, you probably know that I like my little card games. And these two seem to be good ones, definitely ones that have stood out as of late. Line It says here on the back, choose a card, add it to your line. If you have 3 or more of the same colour in your line, you win the jackpot. And then you score even more points by winning a bet. So it sounds like you kind of bet on yourself to do things. You know, I like wagering games. I like these kind of card games that just have colours and numbers on them. They just seem to jive well for me. So that is Line It. And also Mind Up, which I believe has some kind of 6 NIMT adjacent rules. Again, I have looked into these, but off the top of my mind now, I can't really recall how they play exactly. But again, these two will probably be somewhat towards the top of my priority list. We have Pusheen here. This is one of the games that my girlfriend picked up. Very cutesy here. And they actually had a demo of this at the expo, which I thought grabbed her attention. And it's a stacking game, you know, dexterity, flipping a card, racing to get these little cats built in a particular stack. And we have already played this actually, which is quite fun. So very silly, but it's very cute, and you can see why people are drawn towards that one. We have, I picked up a copy of RECO. So this is actually a reprint of an older game, I believe probably more than 20 years old now, and it was out of print for a long time. Now this is the Japanese version, so it is by Hobby Japan, so hopefully it has got some English rules in there. If not, I'll just have to print out my own copy, but it's nice to have this one available now. New artwork that looks way better than the original, so I heard this is a good card game that's worth playing still. Also picked up, is it Higgy? I'm not sure how you pronounce this one, but this is a Sashi game. Again, this wasn't one that my girlfriend picked up actually, based on the artwork, but when I told her that the design is actually really good, that just piqued her interest even more. But Higgy, or Hig, whatever it's called, this is a reprint of, is it Before the Guests Arrive, which was again another Sashi game with different artwork, obviously being picked up by Helvetique, and yeah, hopefully it's good. Again, I personally rate Sashi really high, so hopefully this is up to his standards. And the last one, which is picked up by my brother, is Whale to Look. You can see this is from the Oink Games. I believe it's a deduction game. Here you go, a game of deduction and betting unfolding on the deep sea. So again, I like deduction games. I think Oink Games for me have been working quite well recently. I did really enjoy Rafter 5 and Polter. I'm also a fan of some other games such as Startups, of course Scouts and Masked Men. So I have played other games of theirs that I'm not too keen on, but hopefully Whale to Look is one of the better ones. But that's it, that's all the games that I have picked up, at least here I have physically. There are a couple more that I have en route, the first of which being Babel. I picked up a copy of Babel, which is again, I think it's again from the Cosmos line, so a bit like Caesar and Cleopatra. Babel is from that line, and it has a reputation of being very, very aggressive. But I'm liking these more aggressive two-player games at the moment. A bit of a shame I bought it really, because I ended up buying it before the UK Games Expo, and they had a copy for even cheaper at the Bring and Buy, which nobody had picked up, so I would have actually benefited from not buying that one. But c'est la vie. And I think there is another one as well. I can't quite remember what it is, but I will put up a picture if I remember it. But that's it. That's all the games. You can see there's a big range here, going from these small games all the way up to some bigger games here. Big card-driven Civ games. Of course, the new Kramer and Kiesling one. Classics such as Mystic Vale and Carson City as well. So you can see lots of variety to come on the channel, old and new, and I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into all of these. But hopefully you have enjoyed the video. If you have, please be sure to hit like and subscribe to my channel and check out my other content too. But for everybody else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye bye.